In the year 2447, humanity had expanded beyond Earth. Colonies were now spread across Mars, the moons of Jupiter, and even floating cities orbiting Saturn. Technology had advanced beyond imagination, but human curiosity had never slowed down. One of the most searched questions across all networks was strange and funny, yet serious in its own way. How can humans make 365 days a year without breaking their tool? But this story wasn't just about a silly question. It was about a hidden experiment, a secret group, and a mystery no one dared to uncover, until now. A science reporter named Milo Rain received an anonymous message. No name, no ID, just a subject line. You want a real story? Search the 365 Club. At first, Milo thought it was spam, maybe a joke. But when he typed those words into the private network of the Saturn Research Archives, the screen went black for 3 seconds. Then a message appeared. A CCESS. Granted, Level Omega Confidential Project. Human Durability Program. Milo blinked, his heart pounding. He had never seen anything like this before. His fingers moved fast, downloading files, video logs, and mission reports, every file mentioned. The same location, Orion 9. A human colony on the edge of legal territory. It was marked as abandoned, but clearly, it wasn't. Inside those files, a name popped up again and again. Dr. Illyra Vaughn, a biomechanical engineer, once known for her research on body augmentation. She disappeared 10 years ago after being accused of unethical human enhancement trials. Rumor was she died in an accident. But Milo now had proof she was alive and working on something called HDP 365. The Human Durability Program, or HDP 365, was designed for one strange purpose: to test the limits of the human body in sexual endurance. The goal? To create the first group of humans capable of mating every day for a full Earth year, without physical failure, breakdown, or mental collapse. Milo couldn't believe it. This wasn't just a strange science project. This was a full government-funded experiment hidden behind layers of fake programs. Subjects were chosen from elite soldiers, athletes, even volunteers from underground pleasure networks. Their bodies were modified, enhanced hormones, reinforced tissues, nano-repair bots installed. In veins, it sounded like science fiction, but the data was real, and the success rate unknown, redacted, or marked top secret. But what truly shocked Milo was the last video file. It was a log entry, dated only 1 week ago. The video showed a woman, eyes glowing faint blue, speaking into the camera. They wanted pleasure. They got evolution, she said. The 365 Club is no longer human. And soon, neither will you be. Milo's screen flickered again. Suddenly, his door lock clicked. He wasn't alone anymore. Milo Rain didn't sleep that night. The woman in the video had said something that kept replaying in his mind. The 365 Club is no longer human. What did that mean? Were they enhanced beyond biology? Or was this something even stranger? Milo checked his locks twice, shut off every smart device, and tried to calm his racing thoughts. But in the silence of his small orbit home, something buzzed. A tiny red light blinked on his wrist communicator. New message, unknown source. He hesitated, then tapped the screen. We know you saw the files. If you want answers, come alone. Doc B7, 040 Standard Time. No sender, no trace. Just those 2 lines. It felt like a trap. But Milo also knew he couldn't ignore it. This story wasn't just about science anymore. It was about what humans were becoming. At exactly 3:45 a.m., Milo was already standing near Dock B7. The port was empty, except for a small black shuttle marked only with a single silver symbol, infinity. He stepped closer, and the door hissed open silently. A soft female voice spoke, mechanical but calm. Welcome, Observer Rain. We've been expecting you. The shuttle flew in silence. Dark windows hiding the route. Milo didn't know where he was being taken, and the AI refused to answer. He tried asking simple questions about the club, Dr. Vaughn, even the location, but the voice only replied with one line, "All will be revealed upon arrival." 2 hours later, the shuttle docked. As the door opened, a warm artificial breeze touched his face. He expected steel halls, labs, maybe guards, but what he saw was nothing like that. It was a garden, glowing trees with violet leaves, grass that shimmered like glass, and standing at the center was a woman, not just any woman, Dr. Elira Vaughn, alive and changed. Her eyes had the same soft blue glow. Her skin looked too smooth, too perfect, almost artificial, yet her presence felt human, intense, alive. "Welcome, Milo," she said, smiling gently. "You're lucky. Not many outsiders get invited here." Milo looked around, confused and amazed. "Where am I? What is this place?" Dr. Vaughn gestured around. "This is Eden 9, our hidden sanctuary, the home of the 365 Club. We're not what people think, Milo. We're not some sex cult or military experiment. We're the future of human intimacy, adaptation, and endurance." Milo raised an eyebrow. "Future of intimacy? You mean 365 days of mating without damage? That's what this is about?" Dr. Vaughn laughed softly. "That's just the surface. What began as a government-funded endurance study turned into something more. We learned that the human body, if carefully evolved, can heal faster, experience deeper pleasure, form stronger bonds. We don't just survive contact, we thrive in it." Milo frowned. "And how do you evolve humans into that?" Vaughn led him down a glowing path, past crystal-like plants and humming energy walls. "We use a combination of methods: gene tuning, neural soft coding, micro-nanotherapy, and emotional mapping. It's not just physical," she added. "It's mental, spiritual, hormonal." They arrived at a transparent chamber where two individuals floated in a zero-gravity sphere. They weren't mating, but connected through strange glowing suits, eyes closed, pulses syncing in real time. "They're not just touching," Vaughn said. "They're syncing, becoming one rhythm. What happens to them afterward?" Milo asked. Vaughn looked serious now. "Some adapt, some transcend, but others—" She paused. "Break? Break?" Milo repeated. She nodded slowly. "Not everyone is ready for this level of connection. The body can be modified, but the mind sometimes fractures." Suddenly Milo realized the danger. This wasn't just an experiment. This was evolution by force, pushing humans to limits never meant to be reached. He turned to Vaughn, his voice low. "Why bring me here? Why show me all this?" Dr. Vaughn stepped closer, her glowing eyes locking with his. "Because you're not here to report. You're here to choose." Milo took a step back. "Choose what?" A new voice answered from behind. It was the woman from the video, standing in a silver bodysuit, her hair like black smoke. "To become one of us, or to forget everything." Milo looked between them. Heart pounding. The garden, the experiments, the glowing eyes, it was all real. And now he had a choice: join the 365 Club or never leave. Milo Rain stood frozen. The offer echoed in his mind like a bell in deep space. Join the 365 Club or never leave. He didn't answer, not right away. The woman in silver watched him with calm, calculating eyes. Dr. Vaughn didn't move. The garden around them buzzed softly, glowing trees swaying in an artificial breeze. It felt peaceful, but the silence carried tension like a coiled spring. Finally Milo spoke. "If I say yes, what happens to me?" The woman in silver tilted her head. "You begin your first trial," she said. "You will not be forced, but you will be tested. Only those who complete the process can truly understand what we are." "And if I say no?" Milo asked. Vaughn stepped closer, her voice soft but serious. "Then your memories will be erased, your body returned to your shuttle, your life reset. You'll wake up thinking it was all a dream, a fantasy." Milo thought for a long moment. Then he said one word, "Okay." The woman in silver nodded. "Good," she said. "Follow me." They walked through a long tunnel beneath the garden. Walls pulsing with soft blue light. No guards, no cameras. The place was protected not by weapons, but by design. As they walked, Milo asked, "Why me? I'm not a soldier or a scientist." "Exactly," she said. "You're an observer, a storyteller. Sometimes the ones who see clearly are not the ones in the center. We need someone like you, someone who still feels human." They reached around. Chamber filled with mist and soft music. In the center was a platform with a sleek pod resting on it. It looked like a cocoon, smooth, dark, almost alive. "Step inside," the woman said. Milo hesitated, then climbed in. The pod sealed gently, not trapping him, but holding him like water holds a swimmer. A soft voice spoke from within, initializing Trial 1, sensory rewrite. Milo's body tingled. He felt pressure, warmth, then light. Not just around him, inside him. His senses exploded. He could feel every breath, every sound, every heartbeat. Then, memories not his own, flooded in. Images of laughter, touch, love, pain, pleasure. And something else, something beyond emotion. Connection. He wasn't just remembering, he was living inside the simulation. He was someone else, a man named Cal. Cal was part of the early HDP trials, strong, focused, disciplined, but Cal broke. Milo felt it. The overwhelming pressure of constant physical demand. The mental stress, the loss of self. Cal couldn't handle full sync. His body survived, but his mind fractured. He wandered the halls of Eden 3 for days. Talking to walls, crying at music, smiling at pain, until they shut him down. Then Milo snapped out of it. The pod opened, steam escaping. He gasped, sweating, shaking, confused. The woman in silver stood nearby, watching. "That was Trial 1, she said. "You survived. What the hell was that?" Milo breathed. "Cal's memory," she answered. "We stored the failed trials as emotional echoes to prepare new candidates. Now you know what's at stake." Milo stood up slowly. His legs felt like jelly, his mind buzzing, but deep down something had changed. He wasn't just curious anymore. He was connected. "What's next?" he asked, voice steadier now. The woman smiled faintly. "Next, you meet the others. You're not alone here, Milo." They walked through another corridor, this one lined with small chambers. Each one held a person, male, female, and everything. In between, some meditated, some floated in VR fields, some whispered to walls. "These are the others who chose to stay," she explained. "Each one has passed the first trial." One chamber caught Milo's eye. A young woman with golden tattoos running across her arms looked up and smiled. "New one," she whispered. "You still smell like fear." Milo blinked, confused. "Who is she?" he asked. "Her name is Selin," the guide said. "She's completed 4 trials, nearly ready to ascend." Ascend? Become permanent. Milo didn't ask more. He could feel it. This place was both beautiful and terrifying. Not a prison, not exactly. But not a home either. It was a chrysalis, and everyone here was changing, some into butterflies, some into monsters. As they reached the next chamber, the guide stopped. "This is your room," she said. "Rest, eat, reflect. Trial 2 begins when your mind says yes, not when the clock does." Milo stepped inside. The door closed behind him. The room was quiet, glowing, filled with soft smells and soothing hums. But his mind was a storm. Was he really going to become like them? Was this evolution or something else? He lay back, staring at the ceiling, and whispered to himself, "What did I just agree to?" Milo Rain hadn't left his chamber in 3 days. He slept, ate the nutrient-rich meals left by drones, and tried to ignore the soft humming of the walls. But his mind kept returning to Trial 1, to Cal's memories, to the feeling of breaking. From the inside out, he thought the club was about extreme endurance, about pleasure, discipline, biology, maybe even love. But this place was deeper than that. It wasn't a lab anymore. It was a transformation chamber, A forge where minds were either sharpened or melted on the fourth day. The wall in his room pulsed green. Then the woman in silver appeared. This time, she didn't speak. She simply gestured, and Milo followed. No words were needed. He had already said yes. They walked through a different corridor now, not clean and glowing like before. This one was dim, the walls pulsing red like a low heartbeat. Milo noticed scratch marks along the sides. Symbols carved into the metal, strange and hurried. At the end was a heavy door, black and wet-looking. The woman placed her palm against it. It opened with a hiss like a breathing creature. "Welcome to the lower wing," she finally said. "We call it the Chamber of Echoes." Milo stepped inside and froze. The room was huge and cold. And scattered across the floor were people, or what had once been people, bodies wrapped in clear gel, floating just above the ground, their skin pale, their eyes wide open but lifeless. "Who are they?" he asked, voice low. "The broken ones," she said without emotion. "Subjects who passed the first trials, but couldn't survive the core rewrite." "You said this wasn't forced," Milo snapped. "They chose this?" "They chose truth," she replied. "They simply couldn't hold it." As they walked deeper, one of the bodies twitched. Milo flinched, but the woman didn't react. "Some of them are still partially alive," she said. "Their minds exist between simulation and memory. We study them, hoping to learn how to fix the gaps." Milo stared at the floating figures. They weren't in pain, but they weren't at peace either, like ghosts trapped in a loop of failed evolution. At the far end of the chamber stood a single capsule. Different from the others, it was black, smooth, and surrounded by soft humming machines. "That one," the woman said. "Was Subject Zero the first?" She nodded. "Before the club was founded, before Dr. Vaughn disappeared. This was her partner." Milo stepped closer. Inside the capsule was a man, ageless, eyes closed, body glowing faint blue. His body pulsed like it was still alive, but frozen in time. "His name was Oren Vaughn," she said. "He volunteered first, not for science but for love. He believed if two minds could be perfectly joined, it would cure all emotional pain." Milo felt a chill. "And what happened?" She looked at the capsule with something close to sadness. "He succeeded," she said. "For 1 second, he and Alira merged completely. Heartbeats, memories, emotions, one living mind. But the human body was not ready, the machines around." The capsule beeped slowly, as if keeping Oren alive. But he wasn't breathing. He wasn't dreaming, he just was. "Alira survived," she continued. "But Oren didn't return fully. That was the day she erased herself from the outside world and created the club." Milo stepped back, breathing hard. The club wasn't a playground, it was a shrine, a lab built not just for evolution, but to bring back someone who had crossed the line between human and more. "Why show me this?" he asked. The woman looked at him with something new in her eyes, fear. "Maybe, because Trial 2 begins now," she whispered, "and it starts with truth." The floor lit up beneath Milo's feet. The air shimmered, and suddenly he wasn't in the chamber anymore. He stood inside a memory, but this time it wasn't Cal's. It was Alira's. She was standing on a bridge overlooking Titan's icy cliffs. Her hands were stained red, her eyes wide, behind her. Machines sparked and screamed. The lab had failed, someone was dying, and in her arms, "Oren, don't leave me," she cried. "I found a way, please just wait." But Oren only smiled, touched her face and whispered, "Sometimes love breaks the body, Alira." Then the world shattered. Milo was thrown backward, landing on cold steel, gasping for air. The woman in silver helped him up. "Now you've seen her pain," she said. "Do you still wish to continue?" Milo looked up, dazed but awake. "I have to," he said. "If this is what love costs, I want to know what it's worth." Milo Rain didn't remember falling asleep, but when he opened his eyes, he wasn't in his chamber anymore. No bed, no walls, no ceiling, just white light, stretching in every direction like fog. No shadows, no sounds, just silence that pressed against his mind. Then he heard a voice not spoken aloud, but inside his head. "This is not trial 2, the voice said. "This is something older." A figure walked through the light, not appearing, but forming slowly. She was tall, her skin smooth like marble, eyes glowing purple. She looked human, but not quite, like someone who had been human once and never forgot how it felt. "Who are you?" Milo asked aloud. The voice inside replied again. "I am Selen, but not the one you saw before. This is the raw version of me, the unmasked mind." Milo looked around. "Is this a simulation?" Selen's face shifted slightly, not smiling, not frowning. "This is a neural mirror," she said. "Your thoughts shape this space. But I'm real, and I'm here with you." Milo tried to move but found he didn't have a body, not in the way. He knew it. He had a presence, a shape, but it shifted every time he tried to focus on it. "Where is my body?" he asked. "Resting," Selen replied. "Trial 2 does not test the flesh. It tests the mind's ability to connect without skin." Then she stepped closer. He felt her emotions before she even said a word. Curiosity, caution, a distant ache of loneliness. And something else, something hidden. "Are you afraid?" she asked. "Yes," he replied honestly. "Good," she said. "So was I." Time didn't move the same way here. Seconds stretched into minutes, and minutes into strange flashes of thought. Selen reached out with her mind, and Milo felt it. Not touch, not sound, not sight, but memory. Suddenly he was standing in a crowded Earth city. Rain pouring, he was 17 again, kissing someone in an alley under neon lights. Then another flash, his mother's hand gripping his tightly as they ran from something during a colony riot. Then laughter, warmth, shame, desire. All his feelings laid out like pages of a book. Selen saw everything, and strangely, he didn't feel exposed. He felt lighter. "Why are you showing me this?" he asked. "I'm not," she replied. "You're showing yourself." Then it was her turn. Milo saw her as a child on Europa, dancing barefoot on frozen glass. He saw the first time she felt pain, the first time she felt pleasure. He saw her volunteering for the HDP trials, not for fame or thrill, but to feel something deeper than surface contact. "I was tired of temporary," she whispered. "I wanted something that didn't fade after the skin cooled down." As their minds stayed connected, the space around them began to shift. Walls grew from the light, forming a room that felt both alien and familiar. A bed appeared, then vanished, replaced by a lake, a couch, a dance floor, a pulse of music. It was emotion becoming space, desire turning into shape. "Do you feel it?" she asked. Milo nodded. He didn't need words anymore. They weren't touching physically, but he felt closer to her than anyone before. Then came the pressure, not from outside, from within. His mind began to resist. A part of him screamed, "This is not natural, this is invasion." And yet another part whispered, "This is what love was always meant to be." Selen backed away. "It's starting," she said. "The moment where your mind must decide. Join fully or retreat." Milo's memories began to flicker. He saw his own face in mirrors he didn't remember. He felt other people's thoughts inside his head, some from Selen, some from others. The collective. They were watching, waiting, testing. If he gave in completely, his identity might dissolve into them. If he resisted, he'd fail the trial. Break like Cal, or worse, become one of the silent ones floating in the chamber of echoes. "What if I lose myself?" he asked. Selen placed a hand on his chest. "Not skin, but pure thought. Then you'll find what you really are." Milo took a deep mental breath, and he let go. The light shattered into colors. He stopped being Milo for a second. He became memory, feeling, story, sound. He saw Alira Vaughn again. She was standing beside Oren in the early days, before the lab, before the club. He saw how she cried when he chose to test the core sync first. He saw the moment he stopped breathing, and her silent vow, "I'll build a world where love never." Dies. Then Milo returned, gasping, sweating, back in his chamber. Selin stood beside him, the real Selin now, her skin glowing softly, eyes tired but kind. "You passed," she said. "Trial 2 is not about control. It's about surrender." That night, Milo couldn't sleep. He sat near the artificial window, looking at the fake stars. He wasn't sure who he was anymore. Not fully, but he felt stronger, not in body, but in heart. The door to his chamber blinked. A message appeared on the glass. "Trial 3, the body remembers. Report at dawn." Milo closed his eyes and whispered, "Let's see how far this goes." Milo Rain stood under a dome of simulated sunlight. The words, "Trial 3, the body remembers," glowed in the air above him. His skin was bare, not cold, but aware. Every inch of his body was alive, like it knew something was coming. Across from him stood a stranger, male, tall, muscular, but not threatening. He had soft eyes and a slow smile. His name was Ash, no last name, no title, just Ash. A voice echoed from the ceiling. "This trial is not about performance," it said. "It is about resistance, reaction, and response." Ash stepped closer, offering his hand. Milo hesitated, then took it. Their fingers touched, and a pulse of heat ran through his arm. Not pain, not pleasure, just intensity. Like the body waking up from years of sleep, "You'll feel everything." Ash said quietly, "Not just mine, but yours." The room transformed, walls faded. Floor turned into soft black sand. A wind blew from nowhere, carrying faint whispers. This wasn't a simulation. This was a physical memory chamber where the body recreated past emotions. Touch, trauma, tension, intimacy, all of it. Ash didn't rush. He touched Milo's shoulder, then backed away. But the moment was enough. A memory triggered, not just in Milo's mind, but in his muscle, in his skin. He was 13 again, running through a narrow hallway, chased by fear, his first kiss, sloppy, uncertain, and the sudden shame after. The night he tried to forget someone by sleeping with someone else. The way his body remembered regret, even when his mind didn't. Milo dropped to his knees, gasping. His hands shook. "What's happening to me?" Ash knelt beside him. "Your body is trying to protect you," he said. "It's rejecting contact, because contact once caused pain." "But I'm not in danger," Milo whispered. "Not now. The body doesn't know time," Ash replied. "Only memory." Trial 3 wasn't a challenge of strength. It was survival through stillness. Milo had to allow Ash's presence, not force it, not fight it, not fake it. Each hour passed like a day. Ash would gently touch a different part of Milo's body, shoulder, hand, chest, neck, and paws. The chamber would respond, filling the space with memories, some gentle, some brutal, all real. Milo cried without knowing why, laughed at feelings he forgot he had, shivered when nothing was cold. His nerves remembered things he had buried long ago. Then came the body ghost, a phenomenon Milo had heard about in the trial logs. It was when a subject's brain disconnected from present reality and felt like it was touching someone else entirely. Someone from their past. Ash touched Milo's chest, and suddenly Milo was back in his 20s, lying beside someone named Kale, a lover from his old life, long lost in a transport crash. Kale's fingers, Kale's smell, Kale's warmth. It overwhelmed him. "He's not here," Ash said softly, holding Milo's wrist. "But your body thinks he is." Milo backed away, shaking. "I don't want to forget him." "You don't have to," Ash said. "But you can't carry his weight into every touch." The black sand beneath them started to glow. Symbols appeared, biological signals, muscle maps, heartbeat trails. It was Milo's body rewriting itself. Pain points healing, touch thresholds expanding. Ash looked at the symbols. "You're adapting," he said, "faster than most." Then came the final stage. Ash stood still, arms open. "Now you initiate contact," he said. "Let your body speak, not your fear." Milo stepped forward, slowly placing his hand on Ash's chest. No fear, no flashback, no panic, only presence. A vibration moved between them. Not pleasure, not desire, but recognition, like two bodies saying, "I see you." The chamber glowed golden, trial complete. The dome faded back into view. Ash stepped back, smiled, and said, "You're ready for the final truth." Milo didn't smile. He didn't cry. He just stood taller. Quieter, lighter, the voice returned. "Trial 3 complete," it announced. "Subject Milo Rain. Stable. Responsive, emotionally integrated." Ash nodded. "Once, she see you now." That night, Milo was taken to a room unlike any other in Eden 9. The walls were carved from something ancient. Not metal, not glass, something alive. Dr. Alira Vaughn waited inside, standing beside the capsule that held Orin. Still glowing softly, she didn't speak at first. Instead, she placed her palm on the glass and whispered, "3 trials down. Now comes the choice." She turned to Milo, eyes glowing faintly. "Your body remembers now," she said. "But do you know why you were brought here?" Milo didn't answer, because the truth was, he didn't know anymore. Milo Rain stood face to face with the woman behind it all. Dr. Alira Vaughn. Her skin shimmered faintly under the pulse lights of the chamber. Her eyes, once purely human, now flickered with biosynthetic code. But it wasn't the glow that unsettled Milo, it was the grief behind them, the kind of grief that never leaves, only evolves. Beside her floated the capsule. Inside lay Orin Vaughn, her lost partner, his face untouched by time, his body preserved, sustained, but silent, not dead, not alive, suspended between memory and machine. "I didn't bring you here to evolve," Alira said slowly. "I brought you here to decide." Milo stayed quiet. The trials had changed him. He didn't just feel different, he was different. He could still remember every touch from Ash, every shared thought with Selen. His body didn't fear connection anymore. But now he feared something else, becoming more than human, and less than himself. Alira turned toward the capsule, placing both hands on it. "We created the 365 Club to explore endurance, pleasure, mental merging," she said. "But that was just the surface. The real purpose was this." The capsule hissed then. Opened slightly. Milo stepped back instinctively. Inside, Orin's chest rose, just once, like something ancient remembering how to breathe. "We perfected the mind link tech," Alira continued. "But we lacked one thing, an anchor. A third mind, stable, emotionally cleansed, physically adapted. Someone who could carry both of us without collapsing." Milo's breath caught. "You want me to host him?" Alira nodded. "Not permanently," she said. "Only for 1 hour, just enough for him to return." Milo stepped closer. "And what happens to me in that hour?" "Your mind will fold back," she said, "resting in the sublayer. It's safe. We've tested it with simulations, but not with real people." Milo said. Alira didn't deny it. Silence filled the room for a moment. Then a soft hum began. The machines around Orin lit up. His fingers twitched. His heart rate flickered on the monitor. "He's responding to you," Alira whispered, eyes wide. "You're compatible." Milo felt a pull, gentle, magnetic, not forced. Like gravity mixed with memory. He saw flashes, Orin's thoughts brushing his own, laughing on Saturn's rings, dancing in microgravity with Alira, holding her hand before the first trial. Then pain, the last moment, his body burning from the overload, his mind splitting apart while Alira screamed his name. That memory wasn't just Orin's, it was hers too. She had lived it every day since. Milo looked at her again. "You want him back," he said softly. "But at what cost?" She didn't answer, because the answer was everything. Then something unexpected happened. A second voice filled the room, deep and calm. "He shouldn't choose this," it said. Milo turned. Ash stood at the doorway. Behind him, Selen, both wearing robes marked with the infinity symbol, both watching Alira like they had seen this before. "This isn't the first time, is it?" Milo asked. Selen stepped forward. "There were others," she said. She tried syncing him with other candidates. None of them returned. Illyra's hand shook. They weren't ready, she whispered. They lacked what Milo has compassion without. Judgment. Milo stared at her. You were never trying to create a club of endurance, he said. You were trying to recreate one man, again and again, hoping someone could carry him back. Ash stepped forward, voice quiet. If you do this, Milo, he said, you may never return fully, even if your body does. Milo looked at his hands. They were steady. He thought of Earth, of the old streets, of the people he used to write about. Then he looked at Illyra, brilliant, broken, obsessed. What happens if I refuse? Illyra's face softened. Then I'll wait another decade, she said. Maybe 2. But I will keep trying. Milo walked to the capsule, placed his hand on the glass. Oren's pulse responded. The sync field began to grow. Data fed into Milo's brain warmth. Emotion, desire, regret. It was beautiful and terrifying. He looked at Ash and Selen. They didn't speak, only nodded. Then he turned to Illyra one last time. Let me speak with him, Milo said. Alone. Illyra stepped back, eyes trembling with hope. The sync process began. The chamber went dark. Milo opened his eyes into a new space. It looked like a quiet cabin on Earth. Rain outside, fire crackling softly. Across from him sat Oren, alive and whole. He looked like he had just woken up from a long, peaceful sleep. You must be the one, Oren said, smiling sadly. She never gave up on me. Milo nodded. She built a world to bring you back. Oren looked around. I loved her, he said. But she needs to let go. Milo studied him. Why didn't you return yourself? Because I was afraid, Oren admitted. Afraid I'd come back wrong. They sat in silence. 2 minds inside one body. Then Milo asked, do you want to go back? Oren looked at the rain. No, he said, asterisk asterisk. I want her to move forward, not bring me back, but build without me. Milo stood. Then let me carry that message. Oren smiled. Thank you. Milo opened his eyes, back in the real chamber. Illyra rushed to his side. Is he here? Milo shook his head gently. He's not coming back. He wants you to live again. Not in memory, but in motion. Illyra's face cracked, tears falling silently. She sank to her knees. And for the first time in years, she let go.